Welcome to Wine and Wealth today. How you doing? Hope everybody's having a good day out there. Hope you had a good weekend. Happy tax day, by the way. It is tax day, and hopefully you've either filed or filed an extension. Remember, if you file an extension, that does not mean you avoid the tax. You still have to pay that penalty along the way, but work with your accountant to see what you can do. You should try to pay something today, even if you file an extension. You know the drill. You've been through it before. Happy tax day. Welcome to our show. We call it the Stock Market, the Closing Beats, a stock market update show that we do each day. And we're changing things up here a little bit. Maybe we're going to try a few different things like, I don't know, camera angles. I don't know. Maybe there's just a little something different in the mix here for you guys. So hope you enjoy. And of course, we'll take questions later on today. If you have any questions, happy to help you with that as well. What's coming up this week in our Wine and Wealth class for clients? What we decide his name was? Niall?
It wasn't Niall.
No. Bucky. Bucky, tell him what's coming up.
Wine and Wealth, a show produced exclusively for our clients here at Jazz.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. I like the sound of that. Well, we'll see you this week. We're doing return on capital, actually, for our clients. So that's free. Of course, you can join us there. And let's get started. Let's take a look at what's going on here today because kind of sleepy, you know, like, I don't really have a lot to go on here, but we'll cover a lot for you. So you've got the markets basically were lower all day. They tried to go positive, couldn't quite get it done by the end of the day there. Handful of attempts here. If we could actually go over, there you go, to the 5-minute chart. Here's the start of the day right there. So we got an early morning sell-off and a handful of attempts, just like we saw last week, to try to go positive. Couldn't get it done. Almost went positive by the end of the day. In fact, the Russell actually did go positive. But other than that, just a small down day. We're in indecision land. If you are a new investor or someone wanting to add to positions, buy the dip, whatever it may be, you have no decision to make right here. You had a high that pulled back. You got at least the start of a pullback. Tiny bit of a rally that only recovered about halfway there. So we got the glass half empty or half full, however you want to look at it. And now we need more information. So that's where we're stuck there. I'm going to move on over to the NASDAQ here and show you that for the day. It continues to be the, will get hit the most. It's the weakest on the year, by the way, by far. Only up year to date about 3%. The S&P is the next closest. It's up over 10% on the year there. If we look through there today, you got Apple. One of the drags here today, Tesla in the news again, right around the 200-day, struggling to hang on there just a little bit. And Microsoft all weighed down the NASDAQ here today. But you also had Comcast. You're going to notice your broadcasters in there. Comcast and Charter Communications in there as well, taking a bit of a hit on AT&T and Discover's deal that we can cover there a little bit later. If we go over and look at the Dow, here's what you got for the day, up about 12% year to date. Disney dragged us. Oh, no. There we go. Disney dragged us down today, a bit of a gift on this pullback. Would you agree? Am I weird for thinking, that's that guy again. That's going to happen a few times because I was tinkering with stuff this weekend. But hey, Disney, that's a gift. To me, look at this pullback here. You're headed back to the 200-day. We talked about those 170 area last week. So we're getting it. Another 2% down here on Disney for the day. I don't know. Maybe a little something there that you could get excited about. Also, you're going to find Apple, Microsoft, the same names here. The other weak links, Home Depot as well. Good pullback on Home Depot, and we'll cover that here in just a second because they've got earnings coming up there. Healthcare continues to be strong. Overall, healthcare has been strong. Today, they were your leaders. They weren't all that big of a deal. Amgen and Merck inside the Dow. Merck being a little bit better, back above the 200-day moving average. If we go over to the S&P 500, it's up, let's call it 11% year to date. Seemed unsure today, like we already talked about there. Amazon and ExxonMobil helped out. So looking at the bigger names here today, Amazon, back above the 200-day, boring snoozer of a stock. Just nothing going on there, man. Like, wake up already, Amazon. ExxonMobil up 2.33%. By the way, did you see the truck, the billboard truck that they put up there? They're driving it to Jeff Bezos' house in New York. They're driving it to, I think, Chuck Schumer and maybe somebody else. It's a box truck, and it's a billboard on the side of it that says, "Tax me if you can," and it has Jeff Bezos just smiling away. I don't know, man. I thought they're trying to get him to pay some taxes. I don't know if that's going to work. It's just a one-day thing, too. Like, what's the deal? But it was paid for by millionaires that actually don't mind being taxed a little bit more. So I thought that stood out a little bit. nonetheless, hey, if we're looking at the markets here today, we'll go back over here to the charts while I just make sure I get all these buttons right. American Airlines, good day for that one, 4.25%. And other airlines did well also. Alaska Airlines has been a notable strong one lately. And that's just TSA travel, right? We've got 1.8 million people traveling through TSA checkpoints. That's a record, a new record anyways, given over the last year there. So that's good. That means 1.8 million people traveling over the weekend. You can look it up. It's all public. I share that with you every now and then. Going over to the sector breakdown here for the day, let's take a look and see how things have gone. Energy. That one stands out. So energy is the top today because oil is hinting at maybe another breakout. Look at that. You got a little consolidation pattern there. It's trying to give you another breakout overall. Oil prices going higher there. XLE, which is the energy ETF's most popular there. It's up 44% year to date. There's a couple names inside of there. If you're looking for stocks, Baker, well now it's just called Baker, breaks out to new highs there. ConocoPhillips, there we go. Maybe getting a little extended here in the short term there. I would point out maybe, no, not ConAgra. What was the other one? Williams. There you go. WMB also getting a little extended as well. Strong names. I mean, nothing like to say negative about them. You just think, man, maybe a touch overbought here in the short term. All right, tech was weaker today. Now it's lost about 6% in the last 1 month there. It's only up about 3% year to date. Your drags were Microsoft and Apple that we talked about already. But semiconductors are weak overall because the COVID cases in Taiwan starting to look like India. So it's not good over there. They've been historically good through this whole virus compared to everybody else, but now not looking so good. Where do our semiconductors come from, huh? They come from, a lot of them come from Taiwan. So what I did here is just to see if this is going to be an issue, we look at Micron Technologies, which is one that we've been talking about on this dip here. 46% of their revenues come overseas. The rest come from here in the U.S. So that's not too bad, but when you start looking around, we got CLAC, KLA 10 core. So CLAC is at 86.9% and always has been. It's always right there at that 87%. That's how they do their business. And Lam Research sitting at 92.2% of their revenue coming from overseas. So if that starts to really break out for Taiwan, that could be an issue there. Also, Seagate Technologies in the tech space there continues to rally as people figured out that Chia is actually hard drive spaced. So instead of buying up the graphics cards, now we're buying up hard drives, driving up the whole total cost of a computer in general there. Same with WD, right? Everybody wanting to buy that stuff. Come on. You're buying up all these hard drives and graphics cards and stuff. It's just going crazy there, but you're doing what you do. All right, let's move on over here. You've got consumer discretionary. So we'll look at that. XLY is a ticker symbol that I like to look at. Dragged down today by Tesla. So that one keeps coming up here if you've noticed there. Nearly all the day's losses for the sector came from Tesla because of how heavy it is in the sector. Home Depot also dragged us down here. We talked about that. They've got earnings coming up tomorrow. You want to take a look? So if we take a look at Home Depot, here is their earnings history. They report tomorrow morning. They beat on earnings 84% of the time. They beat on revenue 66% of the time. This should actually say first quarter, so just disregard that. Let's go over here. So they're reporting their Q1 earnings. So if we look at only the first quarter for them, you've got a 79% beat rate for the first quarter. Not as good as their overall stats there. It is only positive 42% of the time, which is good news for Cody over there with the Home Depot short. Average full day quarter one earnings averages a move to the downside of 0.81%. That's just the first quarter. So we're looking back every first quarter that we can. We've gone back 77 quarters to find this data. The issue here is, I don't know if you happen to care at all, but the issue with this is how big the downside moves are relative to the upside moves. So let's just say, for example, that we go back on Home Depot here and we say, I want to see on all the first quarter reports, last first quarter, it fell 3%. Before that, it was positive, but only 0.26%. It lost 1.62%, gained only 0.59%. Loses 2, loses 1, only gains 1. So when it hits you on the downside, it's much bigger than if it reports and everybody's happy and it moves to the upside. So something to consider there. If you're a bear on Home Depot, awesome. You know that downside move could likely be a lot more significant. So I don't know, just something to point out. I don't know where you guys stand on these earnings things, if you like looking at those kind of things or not, but let's move on. Consumer staples also I was basically flat on the day, up about 6% year to date. It was underperforming. You remember that the consumer staples, I like consumer staples, but it happened to be underperforming now that the S&P is pulling back not so much there. So a little bit more interesting for consumer staples there. You had a lot of the quiet sort of inflation-based plays today. If we go over to Constellation Brands, they did well. Mondelez, which is Oreo basically, they did okay, sitting at highs, looking pretty good. Hershey, we talked about last week, made new 52-week highs as well. Walmart, just kind of quietly lower today. They've got earnings tomorrow. By the way, it's fallen the 4 of the last 5 quarters, averages about a 3% move there on the downside there. And also I might mention the quarter one, what did I put here? The first quarter earnings only 42% positive on first quarter earnings. That happens to be the lowest of all their quarters there. So the headline focus for them happens to be more around Walmart Plus, their new subscription service there. Is that really driving any business? Is it any meaningful amount of driver of growth? I don't know, but that'll be the focus. It's what everybody's already talking about, so maybe something to pay attention to there. And lastly, I'll point out gold. Hey, I don't know, gold just sneakily comes over here. We'll use the GLD so you all can look at it too. It just sneakily kind of breaks this downtrend. So you got gold, oh, there we go. It's a rough drawing there, but you could see it broke through the downtrend there, back above the 200-day moving average. It's up 11% since hitting these late March lows here. 180s are your next sort of resistance area here, about 182, 183. And then from there, you really have prior highs. So could this be gold waking up? Also, you might mention you got a larger sort of, much larger than this, much larger cup and handle pattern over here. You see it? Who's my cup and handle people out there? Yeah? I don't know if some of you are. But you would say, if that's the case, and that's what happens actually here, you've got the possibility of a much larger move to the upside if you believe in that cup and handle type strategy there and the projected targets going forward. All right, stocks that have made new highs and new lows today, only 35 new highs, no new lows. Again, it's very rare that we seem to mention new highs. I'll start with Newmont. That's a gold mining company, so they're obviously benefit by the move in gold here. You got IP, International Papers, continuing from that reversal. Remember the other day we talked about that? You say when you have a down move and it immediately reverses a significant down move, that's a recipe for a higher stock, and that's what's happening there. Baker, we already talked about, hit new 52-week highs. I would argue that's a little extended there. And then the banks, Truist. This used to be SunTrust and somebody else. Now it's Truist. Not bad. By the way, if you look at financials in general, they are currently the sector with the tightest uptrends going on there. Look at something like T. Rowe Price. Tight, not overextended, not overbought. They're just tightly moving along in their uptrends there. So financials might be the place to look if you're looking to be a trend follower, but you don't want to overpay and chase something that's already extended. That's all I have for you there. All right, stocks in the news for the day. What do we have? Well, you probably saw it. It was like the headline thing today. AT&T, or Discover's merging with AT&T. They're going to put together this whole deal. I think shareholders of this company, if you own this ticker, you're going to get $29 a share, or something very close to that, in the new company. So it's going to just transfer. You won't have to do anything. They'll take care of that there. Microsoft. Apparently, when Bill Gates left the board, it was because they maybe asked him to leave because of maybe some affair with some other staffer there. Is this just like billionaire mudslinging at this point? Do we really care? I mean, does everybody just want to hate Bill Gates at the moment? I know there's a lot of stuff out there. I don't know. I don't follow along with that stuff, but that's what's in the news there. They said Gates was removed from the board after a relationship with a staffer. What? Hey, how many people you got on the Office subscription there? Right? How's Azure going? Right? Things like that. That's what I care about. This sort of crap is a little bit bothersome. All right, Tesla, well, there was a whole thing over the weekend. Elon Musk sort of, somebody said something about people are going to slap themselves when they find out that Tesla sold all their Bitcoin. He actually responded to that by just saying, indeed. And then he had to come out later and say, no, we didn't sell our Bitcoin actually just yet. But he was really the driver of the stock there. So a lot of questions coming up there. We'll see. I don't really get into the drama of things like that. Nor do I really follow crypto all that much. Whirlpool. So this was in Barron's over the weekend. They said, well, I don't know if you know this, but Whirlpool has had to increase prices quite a bit. But Barron's said that they should be able to push through those prices to the consumer. The problem is they already told you that they were able to do that. So he was on Bloomberg or CNBC, I don't know, weeks ago saying, we're going to have to raise prices, but don't worry about it. We're able to push that on to customers there, so that's what you have. Now, I'll give them this one. If you happen to follow Barron's, they said that DocuSign is one of the companies that would actually still do okay, although it was considered to be a COVID stock. They're still going to be fine. People will continue to use their subscriptions. Can you guess what's going to be the focus during earnings season there? A little churn action? We'll see. They also said that Zoom and Shopify should be another couple stocks that will make it through the reopening, if you will, which is fine. If we have to sacrifice a few stocks to get back to work, that's fine with me. United Airlines there, they said that they will be flying about 80% of their last year's schedule. So 80% more than what they did last year at this time in about July. And then Twitter, I don't know if you use Twitter. I'm not big on Twitter. I probably should be. Nobody's nice on Twitter. They're coming up with a subscription thing. You want to pay $2.99 a month to subscribe to Twitter, you can. They're calling it Twitter Blue or something like that. You can take back a tweet. Can't you do that already? Hey, can you take back a tweet? You delete a tweet, right? So you'll be able to retract a tweet. I don't know what that means. You'll also be able to do bookmarking. Do you know what that means?
Bookmarking?
Yeah.
That's what you said for later, like on Instagram.
Okay, it's going to cost you now. It's not worth it. $2.99 a month? Bookmarking and retract a tweet? I mean, you feel like you'd have to tweet something just to retract it just so you got some money worth, Could you see that being a problem? Like, let me tweet something, everybody hates you, and then you're like, oh, what? I just take it back because it's $2.99. I first have to start using Twitter, I guess. There's too many things. There's too many things out there. Hey, let's take your questions. We got the stream catching up here. I'll cover some things real quick for you. But then if you have questions, I'm happy to answer. Tomorrow, we got Home Depot, I mentioned already. You got Macy's, Walmart, and Take-Two Interactive reporting earnings. Chevron paying out $1.34 if you happen to own shares of Chevron. Con Edison, 78 cents, which is even. Target, 68 cents. Marathon Petroleum, 50 cents. And Aflac, 33 cents. So let's take some questions. You have any questions? What's going on over here? Here's my questions right over here. See, now I can answer the questions. It'll work on the color a little bit, right? Yeah. Let's take some questions. AMC's price. Let's take a look over here at AMC's price. What you got going on? Now, what are you doing here? Is this something you own already? You got to be a little bit clear with me. A little extended in the short term. It's right at those prior highs. Had trouble getting there before. So if you own it, usually you're like, just get it going. Get above that. Volume's good. Let's get going. Stay extended. That's what you hope happens. But help me be a little more clear. Yeah, if you don't know, Cody had a problem. There's no windows here in the studio, and he wanted more windows, so we posted the thing. And boy, everybody ganged up on old Cody, man. They ganged up on him. Yeah, he's upset. You guys have upset Cody, man. He's like, I didn't do anything. I'm just asked for a damn window. So he's going to draw a window on the wall. We'll keep you updated on that. Where do you see technical support for ARK? A little bit of trouble lately. Now keep in mind with ARK, these stocks that you're invested in the ETF, highly volatile, right? So you have to expect this sort of thing here. You hope that this is kind of the price support right in here, actually, about $100. If you look through the holdings inside of ARK, look at where all those positions have fallen to. They're hitting support as well. So you kind of think like right here, you at least see some stabilization. I don't know that I'd be too concerned about a further drop there. Yeah. They will be cutting their dividend, Brent. Yeah, so there's going to be no dividend there with that merger. So, yeah, you wouldn't want to be the dividend investor. It's a little weird to think of how the transaction's happening, but yeah, you're right. You wouldn't want to be the dividend investor there. Still expecting 10 to 15% correction at a time. Well, you still do, right? So you still, we're still within, right, the year where you get a 10% correction every 0.9 years. There's no question about it. It happens. A lot of times people don't even notice it because it's just a calm little pullback there. So yeah, you would have to say statistically, we're going to plan on that, right? You want to plan on something like that. I know you're waiting. I know. Yeah, retract the tweet after you've already been canceled, but for $2.99 a month, you'll at least have the opportunity, I guess. Maybe they're taking it away, right? So maybe they're taking away the ability to, you post a tweet or whatever, hey, it's there. It's stuck forever. But for $2.99 a month, you can go in there and retract it. I don't know, man.
That would be terrible. I mean, can you imagine if that's what happens?
Oh,
That would be insane.
Cody just lost it over there. Don't take my delete a tweet back, right? What would the Kardashians do? Oh man, you guys, I got to get on this Twitter thing. You think I would get canceled if I just tweeted nonstop?
You create a burner, so it'd just be like not Dustin.
Oh, not Dustin from Jazz. Then I can say whatever I want. Uh-huh. Yeah. See, he knows. He knows. Yeah, I could just see that. I can't handle the darn YouTube comments half the time around here. You people are mean sometimes. Scott says, put your office outside. I actually like that, Scott. That's perfect. Right now. Every time I hear something about a window, we'll have a wheeling cart like this thing is on, and you just wheel it outside. Do like afuera. Go de afuera. No, you want a window? Afuera. All right. I like it. Cool. Hey, I'll wrap it up there. Just went pretty good today, man. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow to do this all over again. Got some good videos this week. Did you see our FinTips video this week? Got some, today, first one went out there, and so excited about that. Got some good ones here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If I helped you in some way, hit the subscribe button and everything. You know where to find me. And we'll be back tomorrow. Hey, you know what happened here? Oh, there it is. See you later.